guys, welcome back to The Bright Side. Macy here, The Bright Side Girl, and today I'm going to be doing a space-themed book haul. So I am ready for all of the space sci-fi books. These are all things that will be perfect for Galaxyathon. I think like 95% of them are things that I haven't read that I'm adding to my TBR. This is a collection that I have gathered since last year's Galaxyathon. I will link last year's Galaxyathon haul down below. So this is a year's worth of collecting space alien themed books. I find most of my books at used bookstores, Dollar Tree, through friends, trading, all kinds of different places. Most of the time I'm spending between like $1 to $3. I'm really lucky to live in a great area where I can find lots of used books very easily. So that's why this stack is so big. I think a couple of them I got new or I got as gifts and things, but for the most part this is a giant stack of used books that I've collected over the past year. It's a pretty big stack, so we're not going to go super deep into the synopsis of everything, but I thought this would be a good way to give you guys some ideas for your TBR, and some of these are going on my TBR as well. I will link the announcement video for Galaxyathon, which is my space themed readathon, up in the cards. This is going to be running March 3rd through March 16th. It's coming up really quickly. One of my favorite readathons of the year. So we have Stowaway. This is a middle grade, I believe, standalone novel. Scientist discovers a mysterious mineral buried in Earth's crust. They have no idea that it's the most valuable substance in the universe. It's not long before aliens show up on our little corner of the galaxy, offering up fabulous new technology and entry into their intergalactic collation in exchange for this precious mineral. Something so precious that other aliens are willing to start a war over it. A war that will soon make its way to Earth. Sounds super cute. Another middle grade novel, unfortunately my sticker took off part of the cover, Sputnik's Guide to Life on Earth. How cute is this? I think space books have some of my favorite covers of all time. By the way, I got this new jacket for Christmas last year and I'm thrilled about it. Prez, who has to go and live with the foster system after his grandpa is unable to take care of him, still learning to fit in at his new home when he answers the door to meet Sputnik, a kid who is more than a little strange. First, he can hear what Prez is thinking. Second, he looks like a dog to everyone except Prez. Third, he can manipulate the laws of space and time. So that sounds super cute and super fun. We have Suns Will Rise by Jessica Brody and Joanne Rendell. This is part of the Skies Without Stars trilogy. This is book 3. I have almost all of them now, so I need to start the series. I don't know much about it, but I've heard it's amazing. It's a YA series. The books are fairly chunky. I know it's one of my friends' like all-time favorites, so I need to get to it sometime soon. Hull Metal Girls by Emily Skrutsky. One has everything to fight for, one has nothing to lose. Together they hold the fate of humanity in their hands. Aisha Unhad would do anything for her family. When her brother contracts a plague, she knows her janitor's salary isn't enough to fund his treatment. So she volunteers to become a Skella, a mechanically enhanced soldier sworn to protect and serve the governing body of the fleet, the collective of starships they call home. This one sounds super, super unique. The Scan by Walter Jury and Sarah Fine. I think this is YA, but I am not sure. It could be part of a series. Again, I'm not sure. Tate and his father don't get along, and Tate thinks his father has unreasonably high expectations for the sake of some mysterious family responsibility. But Tate finally learns what his dad has been preparing for when he steals one of his dad's tech inventions and mercenaries ambush his school, killing his father and sending Tate on the run from aliens who look just like humans. Reclaim the Stars, Tales Across Realm and Space. So I think some of these are going to be spacey and sci-fi-ish, some of them are not. There's actually a mermaid on the cover of here. This is a short story collection from a bunch of popular YA authors. I have not had the best of luck with short story collections lately, so hopefully this one goes over well. I love the cover. Mirror in the Sky by Aditi Khorana. Ugh, such a pretty cover. I wonder if there's a version of me out there who feels like she belongs. For Tara, navigating Briarly, the academic rigorous prep school she attends on scholarship, feels overwhelming and impossible. Her junior year begins in the wake of a startling discovery. A message from an alternate Earth light years away is intercepted by NASA. This means that on another planet there is another version of Tara, a Tara who could be living better and burning brighter because of tiny differences in her choices. I love tales about alternate realities, and this sounds really good. Thronebreaker by Rebecca Coffin Daffer. This is part of a YA duology, the first one being Crown Chasers. I've heard really good things about it. I don't have the other book to read the synopsis, but just know I've heard it's great. Kind of the same thing, Court of Lions by Samya Dodd. This is part of a YA space like royalty trilogy, Mirage being the first one. I've heard fantastic things about it. I believe there's twins. We might have a Prince and the Pauper situation, not entirely sure. Space Opera by Catherine M. Valente. So this is actually the hardcover version. I've had the paperback for a couple years now, and this is one of my favorite space books ever. It is really silly, wacky, and fun. I believe this one is adult. It could be YA, but this one has a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy vibe. The aliens come, invade Earth. They're like, hello humans, we are basically gonna kill you all unless you send someone to compete in this galactic concert beauty pageant competition, and if your species wins, then we won't kill Earth. And so they send this kind of like nobody rock star, and he has all these different adventures along the way. Excellent. And there's a second one coming out that I am really pumped for. The Deep Sky. This is an adult novel. I've heard really good things about it. I think this one is somewhat newer. Came out in 2023. They left Earth to save humanity. They'll have to save themselves first. It is the eve of Earth's environmental collapse. A single ship carries humanity's last hope. 80 elite graduates of competitive program who will give birth to a generation of children in deep space. But halfway to a distant but livable planet, a lethal bomb kills 3 of the crew and knocks the Phoenix off course. Azuka is the only surviving witness, and she is an immediate suspect. So I love books like this. Sounds like it's going to be possibly like a thriller, but I'm not entirely sure. It looks awesome. Satellite by Nick Lake. I have heard mixed reviews about this, but I decided we're going to try it anyway. So Moon 2 is a space station that orbits approximately 250 miles over Earth. Travels 17,500 miles an hour, making one full orbit every 9 minutes. It's also the only home that 15-year-old Leo and 2 other teens have ever known. Born and raised on Moon 2, Leo and his twins, Orion and Libra, are finally old enough and strong enough to endure the dangerous trip to Earth. Sounds cool. Again, a YA standalone. Dune, God of Emperor, Frank Herbert. I don't have any Dune books, so I've been collecting them. I have never read it. I haven't watched the movie. I've heard it's amazing. Super intense, adult, high sci-fi fantasticness is all I know. We're gonna go in kind of blind. The First 7 by Laura Pohl. This is the second in a YA duology that I read last year for Galaxyathon. I'll link the vlog down below. I really enjoyed this. It's about a apocalypse, an alien apocalypse, and like everyone dies except for these 8 teens, and they live in Area 51, and they're trying to figure out like why it's happening and how to defeat the aliens. It's excellent. War Girls by Tochi Onobuchi. Such a cool cover. The year is 2172. Climate change and nuclear disasters have rendered much of Earth unlivable. The lucky ones have escaped to a newly formed space colonies, but those remaining are left to deal with the aftermath. See You in the Cosmos by Jack Cheng, another one with like a boy and a dog. This is again middle grade. All 11-year-old Alex Petrovsky wants is to launch the golden iPod into space. With a series of audio recordings, he'll show other life forms what life on Earth is like. But for a boy with a long dead dad, a troubled mom, and a mostly not around brother, Alex struggles with the big question: where do I come from? Who is out there? And above all, how can I be brave? Sometimes these can be a little bit more hard-hitting, but it seems like a cute one. Fractal Noise by Christopher Polini. This is the prequel to Sleep in a Sea of Stars. I'm gonna read Sleep in a Sea of Stars first though, because it came out first. His covers are amazing. I don't know much about it other than that it's adult and it's set in space, and I've heard that it's amazing. Sanctuary by Karen Lix. I had this at one point and then I no longer had it, so we are hauling it again. Again, part of a YA spacey trilogy. Kinsey holds one truth above all: the company is everything. As a citizen of Omnistellar Concepts, the most powerful corporation in the solar system, Kinsey has trained her entire life for one goal: to become an elite guard on Sanctuary, Omnistellar's space prison for superpowered teens too dangerous for Earth. So they have this special space prison for dangerous teens, which sounds very cool. Last Kids on Earth, The Nightmare King. This is part of a middle grade series called The Last Kids on Earth. I believe it's also on Netflix series as well. It is very cool. It's almost like a graphic novel because there's just so many illustrations. I don't know anything about it except there's going to be like a bunch of kids that are trying to survive on Earth. Only Human by Sylvain Nouvelle. I finally finding the last book in the Sleeping Giants trilogy, which is in my top trilogies of all time, definitely in my top sci-fi trilogies of all time. There's a young girl that falls into a hole in the earth. When people come to get her, it's in the shape of this giant metallic hand that's glowing, and she spends like her whole life researching and trying to figure out what is going on with this, and you're following them along as they discover things. It's got alien vibes and it is so well done and amazing. The audiobook is incredible. It's full cast. It has like sound effects and full cast narration, and it's just such an amazing production. This is one of the series that got me through 2020, and I'm like constantly wanting to reread it. The Naked books, this is just like the regular edition, are like absolutely beautiful too, and I just love it. So I'm really glad to finally have this last book. And then lastly, and most excitingly, Pride and Prejudice in Space by Alex Lampley. This one came out last year, and it is a like full glossy covered illustrated beautiful book. It's like freaking heavy. It is so beautiful. Retelling of Pride and Prejudice set in space, and it's just like one of the prettiest things I've like ever seen. I'm very excited to read this. I'm going to physically read this for the readathon. It could be terrible, but it's gorgeous. So, all right, so not too bad. I think a little bit smaller than last year. Really excited for a lot of these, as well as some other ones that I have hauled over the years. Let me know if you love any of these. I will bump them up on my TBR. Don't forget to check out the description for a bunch of other links, recommendation videos, that readathon post, and all that kind of fun stuff. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Bright Side Girl if you haven't already. I hope you will join us for Galaxyathon, and I'll see you guys next time on The Bright Side.